Brandon, obviously, as a Gooner, for 50, 60 minutes, there was hope.
There was hope, Tel. I'm disappointed. You let us all down. I was praying all week that Man United weren't shit for just one weekend. So I was a bit like, hey, I was frustrated. And from a neutral's perspective, I'm frustrated watching Man United. I really am. I mean, you guys say that Bruno had a good game today. Maybe I was watching a different game. Because I think we all know that the issues at Man United. We all know that the manager has to go at some point. He's a big part of the issues. But if I'm Sir Jim Radcliffe and I'm Ineos, I'm looking at Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes because they're two of your highest earners. And all I see is petulant, babyish behaviour on the football pitch. I mean, like you guys pointed out, Rashford could have had a hat-trick today, right? You're going down with Kyle Walker with a little tug on your arm and you're throwing your arms around like an absolute petulant baby. He's gone off the pitch with apparent fatigue, right? But I didn't really see the guy working too hard. I think from a positive aspect, if you're a Man United fan, you can look at today and go, well, for large parts of the game, we defended really, really well. I don't think there was a single, defensive error that was made. I thought Onana probably had one of his best games in a Man United shirt. And the only thing that undone you in the end was Man City's just extra quality. So it weren't like you had a poor defensive display. But I look at your front three. I look at Bruno Fernandes behind them. What did they actually offer as an outlet? Like every time Bruno picked the ball up, wrong decision, wrong pass. When Rashford's going through or Garnacho, he plays the wrong pass. He plays it too safe. Then you've got Rashford going through on goal. Should have 3 goals today. He should. It's embarrassing, really. And then you got Garnacho. You can kind of let him off the hook a little bit, but he offered nothing going forward. Defensively, okay, fair enough. But is this really what Manchester United's come to? Like, come on, man.
You're right about all of that. The only thing I'm going to defend my club on here is Bruno. Because those 3 chances you've mentioned that Rashford should have scored were all set up by Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, but he also he had a few other opportunities where it was 2v2 or 3v2, and there was chance for Bruno to play the ball through, and instead he plays it backwards to Casemiro.
That's instruction. That's instruction.
I understand that. But where I'm going to defend Bruno on this particular case is when he tries every time to play the ball through, people say, stop trying to play it through every time, try and maintain some possession. And there were times in the game where we did need to hold on to the ball for a minute or two, because although you might score on that counter-attack, you have to try and take the pressure off your back line, and you do that by maintaining possession. So everything you've said spot on. I just think Bruno today, in terms of us playing in the transition, I think he did his job correctly. What we didn't have right today was Rashford taking his chances, and Garnacho and mainly McTominay, those two messed up 4 or 5 counterattacks each, where if the through ball is right, we probably score, or at least we get a shot on target. And I think that's why, if you're a Gooner watching this or a Liverpool fan watching this, dare I say, you should probably be looking at City right now thinking we've got a real chance, because everybody's getting these counterattack opportunities against them. We just didn't have the quality to hurt them enough today. But you guys, Liverpool, you could really beat them up.
No, 100%. I agree with that. I've said that about City most of the season anyway. They're vulnerable defensively. We've seen that, and better teams will score or create chances against them. So, from that aspect, you kind of look at City and think, normally defensively is where City tend to win the league. But I'm looking at them at the moment thinking, yeah, you guys can be got at. And yeah, okay, they've got the quality up front. They're always guaranteed to score goals. No problem whatsoever with Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland, Foden as well now, coming up with the goods. But defensively, they definitely can be got at. But, again, I'll go back to the point. Like, them 2 players, Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, they've got to be offering more to Man United. They have. They're your 2 of your highest earners. They need to offer more.
I don't think people are going to disagree with that. I want to throw it out to the United fans. Like, Rhino, like when you hear that the Brunos and Rashfords and others need to offer more, what do you think it's down to that so many players in this team right now, whether you think they're the best players in the world or you think they're awful, they're all performing below their level? What do you think is the catalyst for that?
I don't know, man. It's hard to tell, man. Obviously, first and foremost, I think a lot of them have reached their peaks. Maybe they're not good enough anyway. We've known for many years, over many managers, we get a bit of hope and then we say, okay, no, the players are not good enough. We've gone in that cycle over and over. So I think, yeah, first and foremost, they're not good enough. And at the same time, the manager as well, we're not having a manager that can get the best out of them. Maybe you can say, set them up in the best way and maximize the potential of what we do have left in any sort of quality that's left in these players. So I think, yeah, the overall whole setup of United from a coaching point of view, maybe they don't have faith in the coach as well. So you're not going to get the best out of anything that's there. And then at the same time, these players are not good enough. They're not good enough.
I would say, think back to the time that you saw the best out of these players. How were we playing? What were we trying to do? And is what we're trying to do now anything close to what we were trying to do when we saw the best out of these players? Because Rashford's had his 30 goal seasons, well, not 30, but like 27, 28 goal seasons, 10, 15 goal assists in a season. Bruno's done the exact same. A lot of them might have been penalties, but the reality of the situation is we haven't had a system where we've played to the strengths of the players out on the pitch. I couldn't tell you when, and we haven't had a cohort of players whose strengths and weaknesses complement each other in a way where we can play to the strengths of each and every player and hide their weaknesses. So the problem is, yeah, of course, when you're going counter-attacking, Rashford might look a little more decent than he usually does. When we're playing counter-attack, yeah, Bruno might look a little more sound than he usually does. But you know what else is going to happen? McTominay is going to look fraudulent. He's going to look like he did. No, Lord knows what he's doing. Lindelof, he's going to look real suspicious at times. Garnacho, he doesn't have, other than the first 5 yards, he doesn't have that much pace. And his decision-making isn't great if we're being honest about it. So he might not look that great either. So, it's just one of the...
I totally agree. And it's why I've said for such a long time that I understand people don't like Rashford and Bruno. And they get a lot of criticism and they deserve a lot of their criticism. But this idea that just selling them is going to fix us, which many people have made that statement, are wrong. Because it depends on who we replace them with. If we continue to put square pegs in round holes, continue to try and play a style of football that we don't have the personnel for, and even today, still we're playing compact. The amount of times one little ball through the midfield and KDB had acres of space still. And I know KDB's intelligent. I know I'm going to peel off here, but the fact that we're playing a low block, conceding too much space to a player of that quality is a system issue. So the fact that gets ignored sometimes, like certain high quality players we always get told, for instance, Enzo Fernandez, high hype, loads of ability. It's the system and the manager that's making him look bad. When you're not as rated technically, it's always on you. Well, surely having a poor system is going to hurt the less talented players more than the more talented players, like in any other walk of life. You know, if you're a bad teacher, the clever kids will still be okay. The kids that are not so clever are probably going to be hurt more by a bad teacher than the smart kids, right? I think the same works here. Viewers, get your comments in. I want to know what you think of Phil, but City fans, Hamza, 3-1 victory in the end, susceptible to them counter-attacks. Talk to me about your performance today.
I think I was impressed with the performance. I think you guys are saying negative things about, like, we outplayed you, outclassed you. You didn't have the ball possession. You had 26% ball possession. We had more shots on target than your ball possession. We had 27 shots and you had 26% ball possession. And yeah, you guys are coming here as if you played well. And it was men against boys. We pinned you back. You had one game part.
I need to stop you there. Who said we played well?
I think you guys are trying to say, if other teams played against City, they will take advantage. You're trying to downplay City. City absolutely rattled you today. You guys were lucky. You got a lucky goal.
Let me I want to confirm, you don't think City have a problem against counter-attacks at the moment?
I think that's a fantastic goal. I've seen goals like that. You can't.
Okay, forget the goal. Forget the goal. I want a straight answer, because I want to answer. You don't think that City right now have any issues and being susceptible to counter-attacks?
Because we risk it by playing a high line. But this one, there's many opportunities that you guys, when you had that opportunity, we could have cleared that. But that was a fantastic world-class shot. There's no one could have stopped that. And Rashford, yeah, that's a brilliant shot by Rashford. But after that, you had nothing in your game plan. You had nothing.
No, there were
You just
moments,
sat back.
Hamza.
You had,
Come on
in
now.
your whole game, you had 280 passes. Probably one of the lowest number of passes in the last 5 years. We outplayed you, outclassed you. We just didn't finish our chances.
I understand,
the game could have been like 2-1 in half-time.
Hamza, I need to stop you for a minute. What you're saying is true. You did outplay us and outclass us, but you're saying it as if we've said something to the contrary.
I'm hearing a lot of United fans saying, "Oh, excuses about their team or the squad that they had."
We're talking about why
anybody said that here.
No one has said that here. We're on this panel. Forget what other channels are saying.
Stop the Twitter bullshit.
No one has said that here. No one here has said that you guys weren't better than us. I don't understand what you're saying.
No, you said that you think that Liverpool can go, let Liverpool with Bobby Clark and this guy.
Again, my opinion is I think you guys are sensational. My opinion is a better team, if they get the 10 counter-attack opportunities that we had today, a better team than Man United could score more goals.
To be even Nottingham Forest.
Okay. You're not listening. Answer my question, please. Just answer my question. Do you think a better team than Man United, if they had the counter opportunities that we had today, do you think there's a chance that more than one goal could have been scored against you?
We could have, but I think we played with a game plan.
So you agree with exactly what I've said then? So why are you challenging it?
We set up in a way. We knew that your attack is poor. We knew it. We knew.
So you conceded those counterattacks against us because you knew we wouldn't score.
We knew United are poor up front. Cool. We knew United are poor up front. We knew you had lacked chances. You did not create any chances, main chances.
So again, where I think you're missing this, you are right. We didn't have the shots today, but this is again, I do think you're missing the point that I made. We didn't have the shots, but so many of them were because the final ball was poor or the first touch from the attacker that had the opportunity were bad. I don't think Liverpool's front line. I don't think Arsenal's front line. I don't think Tottenham's front line. I don't think Villa's front line are as poor as we are today. All I was making the point around City is you're amazing, I said. But there's that, what makes the title race amazing is that there's that slight vulnerability on counterattacks. For you to deny that the vulnerability for City on counterattacks at the moment, I think you are burying your head in the sand like an ostrich.
But same as Liverpool. How many chances
Liverpool? Liverpool do. And Liverpool do. Liverpool do. And I've called Liverpool out for that as well. The only team who are not conceding that level of chances on counterattacks is Arsenal. But then you two have a winning pedigree over them, which helps you. I don't think I've said anything that's unfair or wrong. So I don't really get.
I think City played that style against. We played against Chelsea because we didn't think that Chelsea's attack are quite threatening, and your attack are not quite a threat.
Okay, so when you go up against Arsenal and Liverpool, you won't concede. You won't concede counterattacks against those better teams.
Yeah.
Okay,
like I'll give you an example. We did not have two midfielders. Kovacic and Rodri will play in those games. Kovacic and Rodri will sit there to nullify the midfield, and it will stabilize the midfield. But against you guys, we thought, hold on. We knew defensively you're poor, attackingly you're poor. We have to take advantage. And we pinned you back. You had one game plan that Ten Hag said, just kick and run, and hopefully you get to one of those guys. And Rashford had absolutely an amazing shot. But to me, when City had the ball, they were a threat constantly from the beginning. We had chances like Haaland, Mr. Sitter. Doku had a chance. Foden had a chance. KDB just missed one.
We know that. And again, Hamza, I'm just telling you about the tone of your voice. You're acting like we've said you were lucky or something, and no one has said. That's why the way you're saying this is crazy to me. You sort of said the reason why we talk about our team is because City are amazing. So you didn't do this to us today because if we were amazing and you were amazing, you beat us 3-1, and all we were doing were slagging off our players and our style of play. I can understand it. But you're so much better than us. We're talking about it from our perspective that we need to improve our players. Because if we had better players and a better manager and a better team, you wouldn't outplay us like that all the time. But you did. So that's why we're reflecting on our club. That isn't disrespectful to City. It's talking about things from our perspective because we're looking at it from our point of view. V, what are you saying about today's performance?
First and foremost, City fans were a humble fan base. I want to say shout out to Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United. That was a fight that I did not expect. I thought it was going to be very defensive, but I didn't think it was going to be you guys scoring in like the 8th or 9th minute and then really having those chances. Now, the reason why I think Professor Hamza is kind of like, guys, let's kind of keep it a little balanced and forget my man on the side with the platinums. But he said that you guys could have went into the half 2 or 3 up. And this is where myself and Professor are like, well, slow down, because Foden missed the chance. Holland missed a chance. Let's not look at your missed chances should have been goals and City wouldn't have had theirs. So I think it was still a balanced game. We might have had, 8, 10 cross opportunities, or I think corners in that first half as well. Like, we were pitting you guys down, and obviously we weren't scoring. Onana had a very good game in my opinion. I agree. I think Bruno played well. Bruno was, again, the way he was releasing those passes, and yeah, if Rashford was a little more calmer, I think you probably get 2 or 3 goals from him alone. But the game overall, this is a derby. This is a derby, and I didn't expect anything else. I got the hood on for 2 weeks in a row. I just want to get the win and go. I don't care. It could have been 1-0. It could have been 2-1. I just want to get this game healthy and leave, because I got Liverpool next after the Copenhagen game. But guys, we don't give you those chances if we think that you're that dangerous. This is the point that we're trying to say. Pep set us up, and again, very committed. Almost, there was a point where I saw Diaz and Ake wide, and Walker and everybody were up on the pitch. Like, we don't commit that way if we think you're that potent, that dangerous, that venomous. So I think, yeah, you guys had your shots, but we put ourselves there to chase the goal, essentially, because we're a goal down. When we play Copenhagen, when we play Liverpool, I don't think we play the same way. I don't think we set up the same way. But this is what we do. This is what City have to do. 3 unanswered goals to keep this 3-horse title race into the mix. I know everybody and their mama was rooting for City to lose today or drop points. We continue on. I think the title gets decided against Liverpool next weekend.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to be very intrigued to see your games against Villa, against Spurs, against Liverpool and Arsenal, and see whether or not you can see counterattacks. I personally think
Terry, don't see why are you doing that. Of course there's gonna be counterattacks that we're gonna have to take on. I know that's part of the game.
And my point is that's where your vulnerability has been. So I'm excited as a football fan to see how those better teams in attack do against a team that's conceded. I just don't understand why there's controversy around this. You guys are conceding chances on the counterattack. You attack teams. You play with a high line. You are not going to sit back deep at home against Arsenal. You may sit a little deeper away at Anfield. That is granted. When you play Spurs, you're not going to sit back in a low block. Yeah. When you play Villa, you're going to have a high line against Villa. I don't understand what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. Like,
it's so controversial.
No. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, Vader, everything you said was like, I'm vibing with. I hear you. But to say that, like, I completely disagree with we just knew you were gonna miss those chances.
No, I did not say that, Cam.
But that's what it's giving. That's the vibes both of you are giving. Like, we just knew you could have like a bunch of.
Are you guys clinical though?
And you guys are clinical. Listen, here's the thing though. I hear you. You're right. We're not. But to say that we were cool to give up a couple 1v1s, that's crazy, man.
No.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. You ever see that video? There's that guy, he's an MMA fighter, and he starts hitting himself in the chin. He says to his opponent, hit me. He hits him once and nothing happens. Goes, hit me again. The second time he hits him, uncontested, it knocks him out. Yeah. There's no way City would go on United, run through on goal. I bet you don't score.
That's Pep Lat's control. Pep Lat's control. So
exactly. We're being sarcastic, but I think it's what makes the title race so interesting. We've got some super chats here.